Greetings, troubled mortals. In my 1,127 years of existence, I have witnessed every conceivable method humans have devised to torture themselves in the name of love. And let me tell you something that will shock you. You are currently living through the most fascinating era of romantic chaos I have ever observed. By the end of this discourse, you will understand why your dating struggles are not personal failures, but rather the inevitable result of 1,000 years of humans constantly changing the rules of courtship, only to accidentally circle back to where we started. Now, before you dismiss me as another internet know-it-all, consider this. I have personally observed the transition from arranged marriages in medieval times to whatever fresh nightmare you call swiping left. I have seen the rise and fall of chivalry, witnessed the birth of romantic love, and somehow survived to watch humans voluntarily provide their romantic history to algorithmic matchmakers. You want dating advice? I am literally the only being on this platform who remembers when courtship required a dowry negotiation. Let me transport you back to the year 900, when I was still breathing, and romance was beautifully simple. Marriage was a business transaction, period. Your father would announce one morning that you were betrothed to a neighboring lord's daughter to secure grain rights, and by harvest season, you were wed. Love was not part of the equation. It was considered a dangerous emotional luxury that interfered with practical alliance building. But here is where it becomes fascinating. Archaeological evidence shows that even then, humans were secretly writing love letters. Ancient Egyptian papyri contain romantic poetry that would make your modern pickup lines seem sophisticated by comparison. Humans have always craved genuine connection, even when society demanded purely transactional relationships. I know what you are thinking right now. But Vladislav, surely romantic love improved everything when it emerged. Oh, my naive mortal friend, let me tell you about the medieval invention of courtly love that began around the year 1100. This is when humans created the concept of romantic obsession, usually involving a knight pining hopelessly for a married noblewoman he could never actually have. They literally invented love based on eternal suffering and unattainability. Your modern situationships suddenly seem quite reasonable by comparison. The truly revolutionary period arrived during the Victorian era, the 1800s, when humans finally combined romantic love with marriage, but wrapped it in so many rules that courtship became more complex than diplomatic negotiations. Couples could not be alone together without a chaperone. A man had to formally request permission to court a woman from her father. There were specific protocols for everything from hand-holding to gift-giving. Yet somehow, despite these elaborate constraints, this era produced some of the most passionate love stories in human history. Then came the 1960s, and humans decided to demolish every romantic tradition simultaneously. The sexual revolution threw out centuries of courtship customs overnight. Suddenly, everything your ancestors considered scandalous became not just acceptable, but expected. Free love, casual relationships, living together unmarried, behaviors that would have gotten you exiled from medieval society became the new normal. And now, in your current era, you have created something that would terrify even me: digital courtship markets, where humans present themselves like products in a marketplace, making split-second decisions based on photographs and clever written summaries of their personalities. You have essentially returned to arranged marriages, except now you arrange them yourselves based on superficial attraction and algorithmic compatibility scores. But here is the plot twist that will reframe everything. After 1,000 years of evolution, humans are displaying the exact same romantic behaviors as my medieval contemporaries. You ghost people instead of sending formal rejection letters. You engage in elaborate digital courtship rituals instead of ballroom dancing. You seek validation from multiple potential partners instead of securing political alliances. The methods have changed completely, but the underlying human needs remain identical. I can sense your second objection forming. If nothing has really changed, why does dating feel so much harder now? Because, dear mortal, you are the first generation in human history attempting to navigate romance without clear social scripts. Every previous era had specific rules, even if they were restrictive. You have infinite choice and zero guidance, which creates what I call romantic paralysis. Your ancestors knew exactly what was expected at each stage of courtship. You must figure it out through trial and error while simultaneously managing social media presentation, text message timing, and the constant possibility that your potential partner is simultaneously evaluating dozens of other options. You have achieved maximum romantic freedom at the cost of maximum romantic complexity. So what has my millennium of observation taught me about successful love? Humans who thrive romantically in any era share three consistent traits. They communicate their intentions clearly. They choose partners based on genuine compatibility rather than convenience or status. And they commit fully once they find someone worthy of their investment. These principles worked in medieval times, survived the Victorian era, adapted to the sexual revolution, and remain effective in your digital age. Your final objection is probably this. Easy for an immortal vampire to say, but how do I actually apply this wisdom? Start by treating dating apps like the tools they are, not the relationship itself. Use them to meet people, then quickly transition to real-world interaction where genuine chemistry can develop. Stop trying to optimize every interaction for maximum romantic efficiency and start focusing on authentic connection with compatible individuals. Remember, in all my centuries, I have never witnessed a successful long-term relationship that began with strategic manipulation or performance. The couples who lasted were always the ones who discovered they genuinely enjoyed each other's company without pretense. If this perspective has provided clarity about your romantic struggles, demonstrate your appreciation by liking this video and subscribing for more ancient wisdom applied to modern problems. And if you enjoyed learning how historical perspective can solve contemporary dating confusion, you will definitely want to watch my next video about why your career anxiety would be incomprehensible to someone who lived through 7 economic collapses. Until then, may fortune favor your brief mortal romantic endeavors.